What's up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. Brian and I are going to have a great show for you this Friday. Get you all set for the betting weekend. Brian, my man, what's good, buddy? You doing all right?
Doing all right, my man. Been over in the enemy territory in the Tallahassee area doing the uncle thing last couple days. Going to head back to the beach after this show. But, yeah, doing well.
I love it, man. I love it. Everybody, welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell of CBS Sports Line alongside Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you every Tuesday and Friday by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Everyone, make sure to download that app. If you use promo code A to Z Sports, you'll get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. I've done it, used it. It's quick. They put those credits in your account ASAP. That's BetMGM. Download that app. Use promo code A to Z Sports. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. So, Brian, we got a lot to get to. I'm going to jump right into it. First, all right, we're going to start NFL props. What is your best prop play in the NFL this weekend?
Well, to the shock of nobody, especially our listeners, I will go with my man Kyle Pitts, a really low number, over 47.5 on his receiving yards at Miami. So he's gone over that number 3 of 5 games and back-to-back. He had 119 receiving yards with the Jets. He had 50 against Washington, and then in week 2 he had 73 against the Bucks. And the ones he didn't go over, he only had 3 targets at the Giants, and he averaged 17.45 yards a catch that game. But anyway, over 47.5 Pitts.
I like it. All right, I'm going Lamar Jackson over 230.5 yards passing against the Bengals. Look, you guys already know I'm on the Ravens this week. This one makes sense to me. I think that the Baltimore Ravens, their offense is exactly where you want it to be, and there might not be a better 2-week stretch between last week against the Chargers, this week against the Bengals. Plus, I think he hits this if it's a blowout. I think he hits this even more if the game's pretty tight. I know the Cincinnati players and coaching staff have been talking about this game all week because last season the Ravens outscored them 63-6 combined in both games. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson over 230.5. All right, jumping to college football, man. I'll tell you what, I'll go first. My best bets in college football are only from 2 games. There's 4 bets, only from 2 games. Tonight, Memphis -2 against UCF. Look, I think that Memphis was in a bad spot pretty much all season long. I think that that win last week over Navy really solidified who they are, that they're a better team than what they've been playing. And I think that it was a nice, splash of cold water in the face, especially with this game being on a Friday night. Gus Malzahn at UCF, he had to leave the game early last week for the birth of his granddaughter. I think that there has been a little bit of a distraction in terms of that this week. Plus, Memphis is just a much better team than UCF. UCF has a mess at the quarterback position, so I'm going Memphis -2. All right, the next 3 plays are off of the same game. Tennessee, Alabama, under 68. Look, if Alabama blows Tennessee out, you're looking at a 41-17 game. If it's somehow surprisingly close, you're looking at a 30-27 type game. All right, so either way, that gives us 10 points of leeway. You look at Tennessee's quarterback situation, Hendon Hooker, it looks like it appears that he is going to start. He's not going to be 100%. And I think that if any points that Tennessee accumulates in this game, besides barring something crazy, it's going to take long, sustained drives. They're not going to play with the speed and tempo that they normally do. And if Joe Milton has to play, I'm not counting on many points on Tennessee's side at all. I could see Alabama, if they get up big, kind of getting bored, in the second half with this one. So 2 other plays on here. Alabama first quarter -7.5. I think, again, Tennessee's going to have a slow start. Everything that we saw last week against Ole Miss, coupled with the Hendon Hooker injury, I think that he really is kind of the heartbeat of this team. I think that he is the catalyst for the speed on offense. And if he's not 100%, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm also going Alabama first half -14.5. Brian, here's some notes for you as why. Okay. This season at home in the first half, Alabama has outscored opponents 101-7. That's That's a 31.3 points per game difference in the first half at home this year. The past 6 games, all right, 177-20, and that's what they've done on the road and at home, 26.2. So it goes to show you. I mean, we talk about Alabama's first halves. Not that it's any secret, but I could see Tennessee starting slow. So Memphis -2, Tennessee Alabama under 68, Alabama first quarter -7.5, Alabama first half -14.5. What you got, man?
Well, I am on the same page with Allen on the Memphis. Not a huge play, but I got a little bit of Memphis. I did it money line -130. I don't know if that's available still or not, rather than -2. But I mean, I still like it at -2.
Not a bad play though. That's smart. Yeah, not a bad play at all.
And I got Alabama on Wednesday at -14, albeit at a -125 price. But I was thinking Joe Milton was going to be playing, but like Alan was saying, Hooker's been so good this year, but I just don't know that he's going to be even 90%. So I still like Alabama, whether it's 14.5, 15. I also I'm going to go back to the Minnesota Gophers. They were good to me last week. Look, these Maryland teams, well, they started 4-0. They lost to Iowa 51-14. They lost to Ohio State 66-17. We've seen this with Mike Locksley teams before. They get off to a good start with that soft schedule, and then they start falling off, and they just fall. And they've also lost some key personnel. Dante Demas, I don't know after the season-ending injury he had if he's considered a potential first-round pick, but he was previously. Jashawn Jones, another starting receiver's out. And one of their better pass rushers, Darrell Nachami, is also out. And Minnesota's won 4 of their last 5, including a win at Purdue, which is aging well. And I like the Gophers. It's actually gone down to 4.5, and I am okay with buying the half point to 4. I consider 4 a key number. Were you going to jump in and say something?
Nope.
Oh, my bad. My fault. All right, let's also go with – I'm going to fade Clemson, man. It's late October. You are what you are, and Clemson is a team that has not scored more than 20 points in regulation against an FBS opponent, and Kenny Pickett is balling. 69.8 completion percentage, 1,934 passing yards, 21-1 TDI-INT ratio, and 3 rushing touchdowns. And check out these stats. Clemson 0-6 against the spread, and they've lost to the closing line by 72 combined points. Since that loss to Western Michigan, which is a pretty good team, by the way. But since then, Pitt has won 3 in a row and covered all 3. And in those 3 spread covers, they've beaten the closing lines by 84 combined points. Let's go Pitt -3. I hope you can still get a 3. If not, try to buy that half point to 3. Pitt 5-1, both straight up and against the spread. I am going to also go another ACC game. I'm going to go with NC State. Hopefully you can get -3 or 3.5. I'm not saying it's a complete fade of Miami. I like NC State too. But look, Manny Diaz, he's a dead man walking. He's going to get a pink slip this year. They did play pretty good last week at North Carolina. They covered in backdoor fashion, lost by 3. They had an open date, and they had played on a Thursday. They had 16 days to prepare. They lost their star running back. They're now down to a third-string running back, a backup QB. There's not going to be hardly any fans in the stands. I think the night game helps NC State. The heat won't be quite as bad. And Devin Leary has a 15-2 TDI-INT ratio this year. NC State has won 4 in a row. And 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread. And I love their running back, Bam Knight. They've got a good combination of running backs, Ricky Person as well. Let's also go with La Tech. I think it's down to 6, which is unfortunate, but I still like it. I like it better when I was able to buy the half point from 6.5 to 7. Their 2-4 is very misleading to me. They were up 20 on Mississippi State in the fourth quarter, lost 35-34. They led still undefeated SMU most of the game. SMU had to hit like a 55, 60-yard Hail Mary on the game's final play to win 39-37. La Tech went to Raleigh and only lost by 7 at NC State. They've only lost by more than 7 once this year, and that was to a UTEP team that is 6-1. And UTSA is playing their 8th game in 8 weeks. In their last 2 road games, they won by 3 at Memphis and by 6 at Western Kentucky. So they haven't been winning big on the road. So I like La Tech, Skip Holtz, and company as a home dog. I feel like I've got a small play tonight on Colorado State -3. You might have to buy the half point on that one as well. Forget their first 2 games when they lost to Vandy at home and they lost to one of the best FCS teams out there by 19 at home. Since then, they've been 4-0 against the spread, 3-1 straight up, only loss at Iowa. And against Iowa, they led by 7 mid-third quarter. Their quarterback's playing really well. Todd Centillo, 6-to-1 TDI&T ratio. He's got one of the best tight ends in the country. Trey McBride, 49 receptions, 593 yards. Utah State has lost 2 of its last 3, failed to cover in all 3, and they are an abysmal 3-12 against the spread. Their last 15 as home dogs. And last one, Texas A&M, -11 or 11.5 in the first half at home against South Carolina. In South Carolina's 3 road games, they were down 38-7 at the break against Tennessee. They were down 26-6 at Georgia. At East Carolina, they were down 14-7 at halftime, but it was 14-zip with like a minute and a half. And ECU was almost in field goal range, and South Carolina got like a 60-yard pick 6. I think A&M's rolling. I'm not against them -19.5, 20 for the game, but I prefer it in the first half, and that's what I got.
I like it. Nice set of picks there. All right, jumping to the NFL, Week 7. All right, so talked on Tuesday. Really like the Broncos +3.5. That hit for us. We had to sweat the hell out of that ending, but we got it 3.5. That was a nice one. I've got 4 plays here. Ravens -6. We talked about it again. I really like where this Ravens team is. I know that they had some injuries at the left tackle position, but I think that this team at home against Cincinnati, who they've quite frankly owned, and coming to a bye week after this week, I think that is just it's a massive lean that doesn't get talked about enough. So I'm going to go with the Ravens -6 here. Look, I'm going to go Packers -8 against Washington. Dude, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. We've been riding the Packers every week. Since that Week 1 loss, they've won and covered 5 straight. Okay? Aaron Rodgers has 14 touchdowns to 1 interception in that 5-week span. And you look at Washington. They have the worst defense in the NFL in terms of these categories.
Unbelievable.
Passing touchdowns allowed. Passing yards per game allowed. Points given up per game, 31. All right. And you could keep going. I think that this is a game where the Green Bay Packers handle their business. The only concern would be if you get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, he's not playing up to his normal level in terms of pressure this year so far. But if they don't get it, this is going to be a double-digit win. All 3 games, Washington was an underdog this season. They failed to cover the spread, and they lost all 3 of them by double digits. I think this is going to be another one. Patriots -7 against the Jets at home. Bill Belichick, 12-0 straight up at home with the Patriots against rookie QBs. He's never lost. We saw what the Patriots did to the Jets in Week 2. They won, 25-6. And quite frankly, the Patriots have gotten better since then. The Jets have gotten worse since then. I don't see this as being a good one at all, especially after last week. I think this Patriots defense is going to be hungry. I think they're going to get after Zach Wilson all day long. My last play, Chiefs, first half, -3 against the Titans. I don't know who's going to win this game. Either team could. Either team could cover. But I think that there's going to be a little bit of a hangover for the Titans in the first half, and especially with the Chiefs knowing that they have to start fast in this game. Give me the Chiefs first half -3. All right, what you got, Brian?
All right, I'm going to go with the Patriots as well, like Allen, -7 to the Jets. They drilled them in the Meadowlands 25-6 in Week 2. They're playing well. They just have lost heartbreakers to the Red Hot Cowboys in overtime by 2 to Tampa. Mac Jones is playing well. I think the Jets will bow up a few times this year like they did against the Titans at home. I don't see it on the road. Pats -7. I'm going to hold my nose as I do this one because Carolina's lost 3 in a row, but the Giants, they ruled Saquon Barkley, Kadarius Toney, and Kenny Golladay out already today. They just don't have any weapons for Daniel Jones on offense without those guys. So, and they lost 38-11 at home to the Rams. At home to Denver early in the year, they lost 27-13. And then how they found a way to lose to my Falcons, I watched that entire game. I have no idea. They're 0-3 both straight up and against the spread at home. I know Carolina is struggling a little bit right here, but this is a 90% fade of the Giants. I mean, Carolina's lost, 3 one-possession games, lose by 8 at Dallas, by 3 to Philly, when they were winning that whole game against Philly, and by 6 to Minnesota, and they won 3 games before that. So I'm going to go Carolina in that one. I am going to go on the other side. This is one Alan and I differ on. I love my guy Joe Burrow. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Now, I need to get it buying that half point to 7 and maybe just hold out. I think the money will probably come in on Baltimore, and we may be able to get 7 without buying the half point.
Yep.
Look, the Bengals, they lose a heartbreaker to the Packers. Obviously, they had field goals that, my guy Evan McPherson almost hit the 57-yarder, hit the post. Everybody knows what happened in that game. Could have gone either way. Their only other loss, Burrow never throws pick sixes. He never throws 3 picks in one game. He did at Chicago, and they lost by 3. Those are their only losses. And I just think, he laid out a great case for how Baltimore just absolutely drilled them last year. If I'm not mistaken, Burrow was out for one of those games, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And so I just think, this is a better team, and they're looking to get some revenge. I think they hang around in this game.
Good defense, too. Yeah, good defense. I'm with you. Yeah.
And, Baltimore, obviously, if they play like they did last week, the way they beat the Chargers, I don't know that anybody's beaten Baltimore in Baltimore. But it's hard to produce that performance back-to-back weeks. And, prior to that, they were fortunate to beat Indy at home. They won by 1 against KC. They've only won by more than 7 – or I'm sorry, they've only won by more than 6 twice this year at Denver, and then a dominant performance last week. So I'm going to go Cincy plus the 7. So that is Cincy, New England, Carolina, and I had one more. Oh, I'm going to go – don't tell me on this one, folks. I'm just telling you what I'm playing, because every time I play the Falcons, I lose. Every time I fade them, I lose. I'm going to go with the Falcons minus 2 or 2.5 at Miami. They were in London last week. No rest. The rumors about Tua, I'm sure they still got jet lag, all that. Falcons have had an open date. I'm going to go with my Dirty Birds.
I like that. That's a good play. I like that. All right, next segment. The one Titans bet to ride against the Chiefs. Look, I'm going the opposite way. Chiefs first half minus 3. Now, I also think that you could look at a combination of Derrick Henry's rushing and receiving yards. I think it's around 149.5. It's just an absurd number, right? Now, I understand Derrick Henry can go for 75 yards at any moment in the game. I get that. And he might. He's the last guy I'm going to, fade. But that's a ridiculous number. Like, I mean, we're going to get to the point where these numbers get just so damn high that it's like, what is he going for 200 every game? Which the guy could. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's one that you could play on the under there. But, yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs first half minus 3. What about you, man?
I know Tennessee's banged up on defense, especially the secondary, and I know that's danger zone with Mahomes, but you know what else is danger zone? Kansas City's sorry-ass defense against. And I saw Julio and AJ were probable. Do you have anything? I know you're up in Nashville. Does that sound right to you?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tennessee's going to be able to score a lot, and Henry is going to play. I'm not saying take the over. That's a huge number, but I'm going to go with the Titans.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Titans plus 4.5. That's what I'm doing. There we go.
I feel you. I feel you. I think that there are certain teams and certain games that, I mean, we talk about it every week. Like, with the Titans' backs are against the wall. Like, that's when you ride them, man. You know what I mean? When everybody's saying, they can't do it. They just show up. They show up in the game. Then they'll lose to the Jets, but they'll show up in these big ones. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, I like that play for sure. And I'll say this. That's why I took Chiefs first half, because I can absolutely see that happening. I can see the Chiefs taking a halftime lead, probably 3 to 4 to 5 points. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's going to be some blowout, but I could see the Titans being a little slow in the first half and then just take over the second half. So, yeah, I'm with you there. All right, last segment here. Perfect parlay for this weekend. Okay, you ready for this? Plus 279, Ravens, Patriots, Cardinals, Rams, Bucks. All right, 5 from the NFL. Michigan, Penn State, Ball State. It's 8 teams. I'm never one that wants to play 8-team parlays, but I feel pretty good about this one. What you got?
I feel good about that one, too. I think your only potential danger would be Joe Burrow. I think it's 7,
yeah.
Other 7. And I know you feel good about that one. You're laying the 6.5. So, good stuff. All right, I'm going to go all college money line. Western Michigan minus 125 at Toledo. Buffalo minus 450 at Akron. Pitt minus 165 at home to Clemson. And NC State minus 160 at Miami. That'll pay plus 474 and 17 cents. So Western Michigan at Toledo, Buffalo at Akron, Pitt at home to Clemson, NC State at Miami. Wow, that's 3 road teams. That's normally not good, but we'll see.
I like yours more than mine. Yours is good. I'm playing that. I'm absolutely playing that. I like it. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much.
Let me throw out a couple of things.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, we have. All right, I want to get. What do you think the Florida Georgia? I don't know if you've seen it yet. If you haven't seen it, what would you think it would be, Alan?
That's next week, right?
Right. Yeah, both teams have had 2 weeks to prepare.
15?
14.
14. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we've got a couple other look-ahead lines from DraftKings. We've got Michigan -2 at Sparty. Sparty's going to have 2 weeks to prepare. It's in East Lansing. Like Allen's got in his parlay, Michigan's got hopefully a cakewalk with Northwestern tomorrow. So that's a huge game, assuming Michigan prevails tomorrow, a battle of unbeatens. And then we've also got Utah's at home to UCLA. They are 3.5. And Ohio State is 11 at home to Penn State. That's a monster game in that division where Michigan and Michigan State are also a factor. Wow, 4 teams in that division could still win it. And Houston's -3.5 to SMU. Houston's lost once. SMU still undefeated. A couple extra days of rest after playing last night. And Notre Dame's -5.5 at home to North Carolina. So there's just a few look-ahead lines for next week.
Dude, that is a great lineup of just those games already, especially compared. This week's kind of sucks. Like it's not a marquee, week in college football. Yeah,
there is not one game on television that starts after 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I've never heard of that. What is that?
I know. We go literally from what the 7:30 Eastern games to Hawaii at like 1 a.m.
I guess is there baseball? Yeah, it's probably baseball games. Yeah, that's probably it.
Potentially, yeah. Well, there's going to be at least one. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, that's it. But I'm with you. Like, it's weird. I think there are, 22 early games tomorrow? Like, it is a massive amount of games in the early slots. So, yeah, enjoy them. Get up early and enjoy them because the day doesn't really get much better from there. But, yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Seriously, thank you to A to Z Sports. Thank you to BetMGM. And thank you to my man, Brian Edwards. I'm playing his parlay. I'm playing his picks. I like him. We're going to get it. So, Brian, myself, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's make some money this weekend.
Let's do it. Good luck, everybody.